And so if we really think about what it takes to be successful as an acquirer, the very first step is, it all comes down to leadership, number one. And leadership starts with vision. So what is the strategic vision? Why do you want to acquire something? Because we need to keep in mind that acquisitions, if you're an operating business, an acquisition strategy is not the strategy, it's a tactic, right? So the vision has to be founded in a strategic context, which is, you've got to be evaluating your competitive set, you've got to be evaluating what your strengths and weaknesses are, you've got to understand what your value proposition is, and how an acquisition is going to either bolster your ability to deliver unique sets of value to customers and or improve your economics so that you can be more competitive than you are today, right? So one of those two things, or both, need to be true in order for an acquisition to make sense. But then where we've seen a great deal of challenge for businesses that have gone off on an acquisition spree is a failure to integrate. We worked with a company who went on a roll-up strategy, and they had done a great job with the vision. They had done a great job putting a process in place. They had done a great job profiling who the right kinds of companies were to acquire, what needed to be true about those companies, and where they needed to be geographically. And they were excellent at aggregating assets. They bought 5 or 6 companies, and they went from being a $5 million company to a $40 million company very quickly. They never integrated anything. And what you ended up with was an inability to make money. And this whole concept of the profit zone. Every time you hear about an acquisition, you hear about synergies, right? Synergies. Well, there's a reason why 75% of mergers or acquisitions of operating companies coming together don't work the way that they were intended to work. That doesn't mean they don't work, but they disappoint. And that is because those synergies are very elusive. They're difficult to realize. And there was no integration plan. So there's got to be, again, strategic vision, understanding what it does to improve your business, either in terms of serving customers or improving your economics. And then you've got to figure out how you're going to integrate. And a big part of that...
Are you talking integration of operations or personnel?
Well, at the end of the day, it's everything. But you bring up a good point, which is that it's all about people. Right? Companies are nothing more than a constellation of people working together. You can have strategy, you can have products, you can have machinery, but none of that happens without people. And, I don't even know who to attribute this quote to. I've heard it so many times. But when culture and strategy clash, culture wins every time. So if you aren't good at communicating your vision, aligning people to that vision, helping them understand on both sides of the transaction what role they're going to play in achieving this vision that they're all supposed to share. If you can't communicate all of that and get people on board with it, it's doomed to failure.